1, a 2, a 1.
It's time for the Better Horses Radio Show. So let's saddle up and ride as we explore the Western way of life, horses and cows, family and friends, a relationship with the land, and a relationship with God. It's all here on Better Horses Radio. Now let's hit the trails with the Better Horses team.
And welcome to Better Horses Radio. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
Thank you for joining us. Every week is Better Horses, and we get to talk all about equine. Very excited now because we are in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Pinto World Championship Show right here in Tulsa, and what a show this has turned out to be.
Man, if you haven't been watching our TV show or our radio broadcast, we've been talking about this show, and we're finally here. This is like Christmas morning. Everybody's opening their packages. All the kids are excited, running around on scooters and, dogs and horses, and it's wild, but it's fun.
You know, when they say it's the largest show, they really do mean this is one of the largest shows. It's 750 classes. What an amazing part of varieties they have here.
Oh, there's everything from the miniatures all the way up to the full-size horses. They have class levels for lead line, walk trot, novice, amateur, novice, youth, amateurs, elite, open. There's a division literally for everybody to compete on, and it's a fair playing field. And I think that's what a lot of people like about the Pinto Association.
You know, I've been fascinated by the amount of prizes, over $1 million in prizes that we've been promoting, we've been talking about all year long, and they have all the displays out. Everybody can win it from high point to special classes. You really got to appreciate this, and Merle, this is something that we get to stick around for the next 10 days.
Oh, this is great. And you know, I'll tell you, one of Susie's favorite parts is the shopping. Right. She loves coming down here. I don't know. I think we've already maxed out one credit card and maybe two. We'll see how it goes.
And for those of you just joining us, Susie Arbo is also my co-host for TV. And yes, she does a great job blinging herself up through the shows. So that's been great. Hey, we're going to talk more about the Pinto World Championship. So we want you to stay with us on this show. But first, we're going to throw it over to Mark Alpold for Better Cattle. Mark?
Well, Ed, we officially begin summer this week. High temperatures in cattle country certainly already reflecting that. Now, I know you talk about it a lot when you're talking better horses, but excessive heat can quickly stress any animal. And when it comes to cattle, these young calves or yearlings are feeling this heat stress for the first time. Think about that. They've endured the cold weather stress and now feeling the opposite. So, water, of course, is the key for all of us, animals and livestock included. Shade, if possible. And if you have to work cattle, they try to keep that to the early morning hours, of course, if possible. And be aware of the heat when talking about trucking cattle, especially for any long distance. You know, and a kind of a side note here, but also important, good alfalfa hay and feed overall, good pastures, certainly very, very important in this whole discussion. And I say that because this whole week, USDA is recognizing and celebrating National Pollinator Week. Pollinator species like bees, of course, other insects, birds, even bats, play a critical role in producing more than 100 crops grown in the U.S., certainly important to our livestock industry. And Secretary Vilsack says our nation's farmers depend on a vibrant ecosystem to feed and fuel communities, and pollinators are an important part of that ecosystem. USDA is going to host a Pollinator Expo this Friday. That'll be in Washington, D.C., in fact, in conjunction with USDA's Farmers Market. So, again, all this week, Pollinator Week, kind of been tying it in with a good feed. Monthly Cattle on Feed report as we end things here today. This coming up Friday after the close. As always, traders will be watching that placement figure, number of cattle placed on feed during the month of May. A lower placement number can certainly support those fourth quarter futures and keep the recent momentum going. 185 on October has been a tough area for live cattle to get through, but 177.5 has been pretty good support on that October contract. So watch those two numbers. 185 on the upside, 177.5 on the downside support on the October futures. I'm Mark Oppold, wishing you better cattle and wishing you a profitable week ahead.
To continue our Pinto World Championship coverage, is Jenna Henson, and she's a marketing communications director here at the Pinto World. Jenna, thank you for joining us here on Better Horses.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So Jenna, this is probably one of the largest shows with over 750 classes going on. Jenna, what makes this such a popular class?
I would say just the variety of classes we have here. You can come jump, you can do Western or English dressage. We have trail classes, we have halter. Our minis are coming in. We literally have something for everyone to be a participant of. And also, you do not have to qualify to be here. All you have to have is a membership and a registration for your horse.
You know, we're sitting out here at the Pinto World. We're watching a lot of these beautiful horses walk back and forth. I have to tell you, the facilities are wonderful. You have veterinarians on staff. You have a great support group all the way around. And what I think makes it really interesting is you have a lot to learn with other trainers joining the entire show.
Oh yes, for sure. And we also have seminars available. The day before the first day of the show, we had 4 different sessions a week ago, this past Sunday. And they're free. You can come and you can learn from some of the best people that we see come through here, some of the best trainers we see come through here. We got quite a bit of positive feedback from that, I would say. People walked away feeling more confident coming into the show, feeling good about their classes they were entered in, and we're ready to go.
You know, and you also have a sister class or a sister event that's coming up. It's the Color Breed Congress coming up this fall, similar to the entire approach that you're doing with the Pinto World here in June. But that is something everybody else can attend. If they miss the June, they can always go into the fall, and it's actually the same type of venue.
Yes, we're right back here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, November 1st through the 9th of 2024, and it's actually about the same amount of classes here at World Show. It's just a week-long show in compared to, a 2-week, 13-day show. It's condensed more into like a 10-day show. But yeah, the weather's normally pretty good, so come hang out with us. You know, it's considered one of the largest shows, and you do a lot in social media, so you personally do a lot of great communications, letting everybody know. So where can they go to catch the social media, to catch more information, and how do they get a hold of you? Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram, just Pinto Horse. At Pinto Horse is where you can find us. And then for Facebook, it's just Pinto Horse Association of America. We also have our website, and that's just pinto.org. That we also have under that our World Show and our Color Breed Congress website, so you can find all information on that directly underneath our website. It'll navigate you through that. And then also, if you ever have a question and you would like to talk to a staff member in the office, just Google Pinto Horse Association of America. Our number will come up, and we gladly have someone here to help assist you. So we want to re-emphasize that this is just not for Pinto, but for all breeds, for all novices or for all classes. It is a Pinto World Championship show in June. You have the Color Breed Congress in November. We're talking to Jenna Henson, who is the Director and Communications Director at the Pinto World. Jenna, thank you for joining Better Horses. Thank you so much for having me. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Get quality you can stand on. Hoof Grip is the proprietary formula that provides shock absorption for your animals with no ice buildup, slipping, cracking, or sogginess, making it the safest, most comfortable, and maintenance-free flooring on the market. Hoof Grip installs quickly and easily over existing surfaces, is easy to clean, and withstands extreme heat or cold. From vet offices to barns, wash racks to trailers and more. Visit hoofgrip.com to find a dealer in your area today.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
Routine dental examination and treatments are essential for high-quality horse care. To prevent potential problems, a horse's mouth should be examined at least once a year. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins, Equine Field Service Veterinarian at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. We can examine the mouth and provide a treatment plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org, the Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
John Deere is known for quality equipment. This quality has created a perception that John Deere is more expensive than other brands. But high quality doesn't mean high priced. The truth from buyers in our area is customers who have purchased a John Deere compact utility tractor saved more than $2,000 when buying from Heritage Tractor. Dare to compare us before buying. You and your wallet will be surprised. Nothing runs as long as a Deere, and we'll prove it with our exclusive 10-year warranty. Visit heritagetractor.com/compare to learn more.
Established in 1956, the Pinto Horse Association of America was formed to welcome all types of equines and maintain their show records and pedigrees. PTHA currently has over 88,000 members with 157,000 registered pintos. There are currently 3 separate registries: the Color Registry, the Solid Registry, and the Long Ear Registry. We welcome all levels of competition within a family-friendly environment. Become a member, register, and add value to your horse. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
And welcome back to Better Horses. You know, I can't tell you how excited it is to be at the Pinto World Championship show, and we are delighted to have Allie Ruff, who is located in Baroda, Michigan. I was going to get that right. And Allie, you have been here competing at the Pinto World. Tell me, how's it going so far, and also talk about your students.
All right, it's been going really good. I got 4 clients down here. I have a niece and an aunt that are sharing a mare. They're both doing excellent in their classes. I got a novice youth who's 13 and under. I got an amateur walk trot that's on the same mare. EPR, she's a keeper's her name. We got Mallory Griffiths with our little gaming mare. We call her Remy, Tanita Dominique. And then I got my new timer down here, which is Alexandria Smith with Barely a Breeze. Everyone's been doing extremely well. Today in gaming went extremely well for my gamer girl, but everyone has been holding their own. We've had multiple top 5s. We have a lot of championships already. We got stuck in reserve quite a bit, but we're okay with that. We're always happy with that. So horses and everybody's doing amazing.
You know, this is an all-horse show. It's over 700 classes. It's considered one of the largest horse shows. Now, this is covering all sorts of breeds and all sorts of classes. So tell me what you're focusing in on.
So we brought all Pintos, full register, no solids or anything. I have pretty much all-arounders. We do the showmanship. We both English and Western. We do the English pleasure, the equitations. The Pinto is really great with the ideals and discipline rail classes, which a lot of associations don't offer. We love it as Pinto, as PTHA lovers. I've been showing Pinto myself for over 20 years. And I started training back in 2012. And this is, man, I think I've only missed like 2 or 3 years since then here. We missed last year. We missed the tornado, so that helped.
Yeah, that was very helpful. Now, to let the listeners appreciate this, you're from Michigan, so how far a drive is that to come all the way down to Tulsa, Oklahoma?
About 14 hours with the horse trailer. So it takes a little bit. We don't do an overlay. A lot of people from Michigan will do like a layover somewhere, but we don't do that. We just drive straight through. We go through the night. We drive all night long. We leave about 7 o'clock-ish at home, and then we get down here by no later than 8 o'clock, normally morning down here. So about 14 total because there's a time change there. So
as our listeners are thinking about going into the show and overall training tips going into the show, what are the things you want everybody to know when they come to the Pinto World Championship here in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Well, if you're from the north, you need to get your horses, at least try to get them acclimated to some heat, because the heat can be a difference down here for the horses from the north. The main focus is know you're coming early and be prepared early. This is one of the earliest world shows that there is in all horses. A lot of world shows don't run until later summer or even fall. So you have to prep early. You have to know, by January, February, you need to know if you're coming or not, and start figuring out if you're going to do the 12 flat rate classes that they offer, if you're going to do that, and figure out what 12 you're going to focus on. And start then, because you got everything. They offer the jumping, they offer the gaming, there's driving, there's the regular showmanships and the English and the Western pleasures and trails. You got a lot of options, so you got to really figure out what you want to focus on and be able to prepare for it. So yeah, that's kind of my biggest advice is prepare early and figure it out because the competition is very tough down here.
You know, they do have the spring. They all have the Color Breed Congress this fall. If you do miss the spring, but this has been going on for many years. It's
Yes.
one of considered the oldest shows.
Yep.
So having somebody coming down from all over parts of the country, you're meeting a lot of trainers. You're getting a lot of good ideas. But you had a very successful trip so far. Can you talk about some of your girls and how they've done?
Okay, so I got my 13 and under novice, which is Emmy Teachworth. In EPR, she's a keeper. They've been killing it in the junior youth novice. They've already pulled 6 buckles. They got their 6th buckle today in their trail class. They're really just stepping it up. She's my youngest one I got here, but she's been with me since she was like 6. So she's come a long way, and they're doing really good. Very proud of that team always. I got her aunt, Stephanie Katorba, who is also showing EPR. She's a keeper. She sticks to the walk trot, and she's a junior amateur. And this is her first trip down here herself, and Stephanie is just holding her own in a very deep, thick pen. A lot of good walk trotters going around in that junior amateur, and she has definitely held her own. She's gotten a couple top 5s, some gorgeous rides and some gorgeous patterns. Next week is Western Week, so I expect good things out of that team. Alexandria Smith and Barely a Breeze, they're killing it in the all-around. We've been top 5 in English pleasure, and I believe in the showmanship. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long week. We've been top 10 in others. She honestly has had some gorgeous rides. Couldn't be happier with that team. And then rounding it out is Mallory Griffiths with my barrel mare. We call her Tanina Dominique, also known as Remy. She is a showmanship machine. We got top 10 in the novice junior amateur showmanship in the English already. She'll go in the Western later on next week. And today she ran her in the amateur barrels, stakes, poles, and keyhole. She came out with a buckle in every class. I actually ran her. I haven't ran her in 2 years. I just had a baby. So I haven't ran her since having the baby. And I ran her today in the stakes and the keyhole. And I won the open keyhole with her. And I got reserve in the stakes myself. And Mallory got reserve in the barrels, reserve in poles. She won stakes and she won keyhole. So, I mean, just a very, very solid day for the gaming pen for sure.
You know, we should also say for the Pinto World, they have over $1 million in cash and prizes, and it's really nice to see you guys come down here, win all these prizes, but really walk away with something you can appreciate.
Absolutely.
You know, and all the hard work there.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And Mallory won. She won the High Point today, the Gymkhana
High Point.
Amateur
There you
High
go.
Point. She
Okay.
did. So she got herself a High Point award on top of it. So she's very excited about that.
As a trainer, can you give their listeners advice who don't go to these shows, who thinking about trying it, and what do they need just to get that extra push to try to get in?
Someone that's never been here, my biggest advice is find somebody that has been here and learn what to expect, because it is, like you said, it's a large show. I don't honestly know how many horses here. It's always been big. It is a tough competition. It's long days. It's early morning practices. It's late night practices. You have to have a stamina in order to handle a 2-week-long horse show like this one is.
So get in physical shape.
You do, yeah. I mean, you do. You and your horse both. You really do. And my biggest advice is if you don't have some help out there, professional help that is, and if you know someone that you can team up with and learn from that have been here, that's a huge help too, because they know the ins and outs. They know what the rules are. You don't want to break rules. There's a lot of them. You got to get through a lot of tack checks and everything like that. And the bit you've used here, down here, they're going to say no. So that's kind of stuff you need to know what you're coming down to, because you don't want to get yourself in a pickle down here and not know how to get out of it.
Exactly.
And because it's tough, So yeah, that would be my biggest advice.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out, and good luck to you for the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Allie, thanks for joining us again here on Better Horses Radio. So you've been talking to Allie Ruff. She's a trainer at 414 Performance Horses in Michigan at Baruta, Michigan. We'll be right back right after these messages. And welcome back to Better Horses Radio. We are so glad you are staying with us. We have a very special segment coming up. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And I'm Susie Arbo.
And this is going to be a very special segment that we have, and we're going to categorize this as special safety moments. And with us today, I am very pleased to announce that we have professional horse trainer Dan James from Kentucky Horse Park. And Dan, thank you for joining us here on Better Horses Radio.
Hey guys, thanks for having us. It's always a pleasure to get caught up and catch up with you guys.
You know, it's great. So first of all, let's get us an update on what you're doing. I know you have the Liberty Big event coming up this fall, and I know you and Elizabeth are working on that, and that's going to be building every year. But you're still traveling, doing a lot of clinics. How's it going with you out there?
Mate, we're good, thanks. We're fortunate we were out at Western States Horse Expo out there in Sacramento this weekend, where it's under new management, and they really had revamped and done an amazing job out there. My first time out there, and of course, you're right, with the Liberty Festival just a couple months away here, coming up in October, and of course, we have an amazing special guest that is going to make an appearance. Not just an appearance, but be there throughout the weekend, is Amber Marshall from the hit TV series Heartland.
And that show's been going on for over 20 years, I think. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look at that. The research people don't yell at me about that, but that's a long-standing tradition on that special show.
It's the longest running television show in Canada, for sure, and certainly updates a lot of other shows that are going, particularly in that area of family, and horse-related television. I do believe that they are coming up here to their 18th season.
Wow. Okay. So we're getting close to 20. So I guess we'll get to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan,
Yeah.
I know Liberty is really taking a foothold on a lot of training here. From what your perspective seeing, and you and Elizabeth putting on an amazing Liberty event coming up this fall, but are you seeing that more and more in the training programs that everybody's gravitating to the Liberty program?
What we're seeing, which is, kind of like one of the essence behind the International Liberty Horse Association, and then the Liberty Festival that happens each October, is that what we're seeing is that people have often been so drawn to this for such a long time, but not really had a place to access it, both from a training standpoint of knowing like how to get started, where to, what to do, but then also from a part where they've wanted to do more than just do with it at home in their backyard. And that's what the ILHA has kind of created, is a platform where people get to experience that and are able to now have a place to showcase what they're able to get done with their horses. So it's a pretty, special opportunity for a lot of people that, we've got a lot of people that have had horses all their lives, but never competed before. And now we see both people that have had previous competition experience and people that have never stepped foot inside the ring before coming and getting to enjoy that experience.
That's fantastic. We want to take a lot of this portion of the show and talk about training, which I think is very important. And we talk about nutrition and everything else on the show. But one of the things we don't talk about is the safety aspect of the care and custody of these horses. And we had a special tragedy that happened last week with Brendan Brent and Kathy Brent over there. And I know this is very close to your neck of the woods, and it's also close within your circle of horsemanship and horse people. And can you talk about what just happened? For those of you who don't know, there was a special fire over there at Bell Center area. And Dan, I know you're close to the situation. Can you kind of report to everyone nationwide that is part of the equine community of what happened over there?
Yeah, so on, I believe it was Saturday the 8th, just over the weekend, Brandon and Kathy Brand's facility up there at Bell Center, Ohio, where Eric Priest and his team also train and operate out of, they had an incredibly devastating fire. I have not yet, as I've just got back from California today, been up there to yet visit. I've seen obviously lots of photos and videos that have come through that are just gut-wrenching, knowing the facility, knowing the horses. Like there's the several or more young horses in there that I would have personally started. Brandon has been probably like one of my closest friends for many years. And in addition to that, has been like the guy that I've turned to more times than I can think of when it has come to both training horses, bouncing ideas off him. One of the main horses that I have in my team now, Brendan showed and competed very successfully on. So from every aspect, from him as a friend through to a horseman, this really has hit very close to home. These guys are certainly family to me, and it's a devastating loss for not only for Kathy and Brandon and Eric, but also for the many countless horse owners that had horses there in their facility. I know that the number of horses that they buried here over the weekend was just shy of 50 horses. So not only losing all of those horses, it was really, there was a couple of horses that managed to escape from the fire, including the ones that they were currently riding in the outdoor arena, which is a little ways from the main barn itself. Eric and Brandon both ran back into the fire. They were hit by a wall of fire to the description I'd been given. Eric was knocked out unconscious in there and got second and third degree burns. Brandon was thrown back out of it and is, being actively sort of, trying to literally pick up the pieces. So it just, look, I think that, again, from the reports firsthand that, they're grateful that their children weren't in the barn, that all their staff made it out, but obviously the tragedy of losing the horses that were in there is just unbelievable.
And Dan, I know this is every horse owner's worst nightmare. I think it's safe to say. And of course, the first question everybody wants to know is, well, how did it start? Do we know anything about that yet?
No, there's not been anything officially released. I do believe that it is still undergoing investigation through the fire department as of right now. So there's certainly not been anything officially released at this point. What I can tell you and what I do know is that barn was originally built actually by Clinton Anderson from Down Under Horsemanship, and it was a commercial building, and it was actually fitted fully as a commercial building with a full fire system in the building. Now, again, the little that has been relayed to me in regards is that the heat and the volume, the ferocity of the fire, that the system could not even remotely cope with what happened.
Wow, that's amazing. If you just joined us, we're talking to Dan James, who was explaining what's happening to Brent and over there at Bell Farms or Bell Center Farm, a barn fire that happened. Susie, to you, this is going to be a mental stress on this family that's going to go on for a long time.
Absolutely. Our brains, the way that we process grief, whether it's through losing humans, whether it's losing animals, we process it the same. And so this loss is just going to be so hard for not only the trainers, but those owners, just everybody involved. It really is, it really hard. I know Merle and I lost a horse several years ago in a barn fire, and it's an unexplainable feeling. And so to lose everything, I know that our horse community really cares about each other. And a lot of times when devastation happens, we rally around in any way that we can. Dan, can you share with our listeners right now, what are some ways that they can help these families and these trainers, and what can we do on our end?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a Brandt and Priest family fundraiser, and I'm sure that this can be shared in links and that going up. And the fundraiser itself, it is going to be, it'll run through, I believe the dates are through until about the 23rd of June. The outpouring of people, what have donated, has just been incredible. And the people that have gone through and set up the donations, certainly the amount that people put in is just, has been incredible. And then of course there is a GoFundMe page as well. And there is one set up each for both Eric Priest and also for Brendan and Kathy Brandt. And again, those can be accessed through our Facebook, through Double Down Horsemanship, and or through, going directly to those pages. There's links, pretty significantly through Facebook to be able to follow. And, just a big shout out for those that immediately jumped on creating the GoFundMe for both Eric and Brandon, and also in creating the fundraiser. Those friends and family around them, like they got right on it, and which is, just incredible to help alleviate some of the things for Kathy and Brendan to think about.
And for everybody who's just joining us, we're talking about the Special Bell Center fire that happened with Brendan Brent and Kathy Brent. And I think the GoFundMe is a great direction to go to. Dan, I want to thank you for jumping on board and on our radio show and explaining this. I think this just puts a full emphasis on us looking at our barns, making sure everything is as safe as possible. We encourage that because it can be completely devastating. And from a financial view, we all know that the insurance will not be able to cover everything that it takes to put, and especially if it's a Clinton Anderson barn. Dan, you and I both know they're going to have struggled trying to keep to simulate what they had before. So they need our help as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely. I think that the big thing, like right now, that there is lots of movement and traction and people getting on board, which is just fantastic. And I think that the important thing is that in the weeks and the months to come, to help it kind of stay somewhat relevant in terms of continuing to that rebuild. Because as you guys can imagine, just the magnitude of losing absolutely everything, from a manure fork to a polo wrap, the bridles, the saddles, the magnitude of the loss in that regards. Like, yes, there will be insurance come through in those regards for a lot of items, but just right now, like trying to continue the 2-year-old barn, or mare barn as it's often called, it's not attached, and so they still have around, I believe, about 20 to 26 head of young horses that they're going to be continued to ride right now. So there is a definite immediate need for in those areas of assistance.
Oh, that's excellent. For those who are joining us, also let you know that we'll have all this information on our show notes and on our podcast. Dan, again, thank you for joining us. We look to talk to you again. We'll talk about training. We'll get our everything built back up, and hopefully we'll pull out of this.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate being able to have the opportunity to speak with you, and to certainly share for those that weren't yet familiar with the tragedy that unfolded. And a big shout out to everybody who has already donated and given and turned up physically and been there for their support. I know how much that'll mean to both Kathy, Brandon, and Eric. Thank you, guys.
Very good. Thank you, Dan. Merle and Susie, we're going to make a stop right here. We're going to be right back right after this. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And I'm Susie Arbo.
And we'll be right back right after these messages.
I'm Mark Oppold with an American Agriculture History Minute, brought to you by AgriLiquid. Sure-K from AgriLiquid is a high-efficiency potassium fertilizer, giving plants the nutrients they need when they need it. Visit agriliquid.com. Missouri was admitted to the Union in 1821, the 24th state. State capital was temporarily located in St. Charles until a permanent capital could be built. Missouri was noted to be the first state entirely west of the Mississippi to be admitted to the Union. The state capital eventually moved to Jefferson City in 1826. At the time of its admission, the western border of Missouri was a straight line from Iowa to Arkansas. It was based on the confluence of the Kaw River with the Missouri River in Kansas City. That's today's American Agriculture History Minute. I'm Mark Oppold.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dylan Luter, a specialist in equine performance medicine at the Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. Our new service focuses on lameness diagnosis, advanced imaging, physical therapy, and regenerative medicine for horses with injuries preventing them from performing at their best. We can treat a variety of conditions and design a customized rehabilitation plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org, the Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
Hi, I'm Tommy with Heritage Tractor. Whether you're looking to maintain your yard or your whole ranching operation, Heritage Tractor has John Deere mower and tractor packages that make work fly by. With a variety of horsepower and attachment configurations, we have a package to best fit your needs and budget. To learn more about these exclusive packages, visit us in store or online at heritagetractor.com.
Legendary products, extraordinary service. That's our heritage.
Established in 1956, the Pinto Horse Association of America was formed to welcome all types of equines and maintain their show records and pedigrees. PTHA currently has over 88,000 members with 157,000 registered pintos. There are currently 3 separate registries: the Color Registry, the Solid Registry, and the Long Ear Registry. We welcome all levels of competition within a family-friendly environment. Become a member, register, and add value to your horse. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com.
Get quality you can stand on. Hoof Grip is the proprietary formula that provides shock absorption for your animals with no ice buildup, slipping, cracking, or sogginess, making it the safest, most comfortable, and maintenance-free flooring on the market. Hoof Grip installs quickly and easily over existing surfaces, is easy to clean, and withstands extreme heat or cold. From vet offices to barns, wash racks to trailers and more. Visit hoofgrip.com to find a dealer in your area today.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
Last Saturday at approximately 12:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, there was a massive barn fire at the Dundee Ranch, which is located in Bell Center, Ohio, and is home of Brandt and Priest Performance Horses. And my horse, Starlight's Gunman, or Henry, as he was affectionately known, was at that training facility and had been there for nearly a year. The fire ended up killing 44 horses, including my horse, Henry. It also took the life of a dog and left 4 assistant trainers homeless and left 2 prominent reining horse trainers without a facility and without income. You all know that I don't have children. My animals, including my Bernese Mountain Dogs and my horse, are my children. So I just needed an outlet to talk about what happened from the perspective of someone who I consider myself a dinkwad, dual income, no kids with a dog, but you can also say dual income, no kids with a horse. And it's really still difficult to talk about. I just said last night when we were out to dinner with family, oh, my horse, has this or that. And then I caught myself and I was like, oh, I don't actually have a horse anymore. And I don't think people realize the amount and type of grief that losing an animal brings. The scale of this tragedy is just so large, and yet it is dwarfed in comparison to the amount of grief that myself and the other owners who lost horses, the staff, the trainers, and really the whole equine industry has been feeling the last week. The story ran on a national news program, and of course that news program posted it to their Facebook page, and the comment section on the Facebook page was absolutely horrific to read as someone who has personally lost something in this tragedy. There were people that were saying that the trainers started the fire on purpose for the insurance money. There were people saying that horses should never be kept in a stall. They need to be able to run free, and who would dare trap these poor animals inside of this facility? There were people that were saying, why didn't people do more to get them out? Why didn't people help? And people were saying, why weren't there security measures in place within the facility itself, sprinkler systems, etc.? And I want to address those today. And again, I'm not the owner of the facility, but I have been a horse owner for almost 30 years. And I wanted to just explain to people in the general public why those comments are so ignorant. First of all, there were security measures in place. Was it the most up-to-date facility? No. However, there were firewalls, there were sprinkler systems. Those items are designed for getting people out, like maybe saving one more life. They're not designed to keep fires contained to the point where you can get 40, 50 horses out, 40, 50 people. That's not what they're designed to do. The fire, from what I've been told from the people that were there, once the toxic fumes had breached the firewalls, the entire place was consumed with those fumes within 6 seconds. The entire facility itself was gone within 3 minutes. So how much can you get done in 6 seconds? How much can you get done in 3 minutes? The other thing that people don't understand is that horses and most livestock will not leave a place that they feel safe. And they feel safe in their stalls in a barn. My trainer tried to go back in and save some of his horses, some of the clients' horses, including mine. And he opened the stall door and he tried to chase the horse out of the stall, and the horse would not leave because that's its safe space. That's what it knows. And there's so many other stories out there that you can look up online where the horse will be forced out of the barn and they will run back in. They will run back into a burning building just to get back to their safe space. In addition to that, the smoke, I'm told, was so thick, it was like walking into pitch darkness. Coupled together, it would have been nearly impossible, and was impossible, to get any horses out that weren't already outside when it happened. And my trainer that did try to go back in and save them, he's currently still in the hospital because he sustained 2nd and 3rd degree burns as a result of him running back into a burning, melting building. And in my eyes, as far as I'm concerned, he's an absolute hero. He should have never gone back into that building, even though obviously as an owner of one of those animals, I desperately wanted it to be saved. But he should have never done that. But he did. And for that, he's my hero. And for people who said that they would have suffered, some cases of fire, yes, they do burn to death. But in this case, the toxic fumes is what probably killed most of the horses. And it was a blessing to know that, because in those cases, they just would have fallen asleep. So they didn't feel any pain. They did not burn to death. They did not suffer. And I also heard from eyewitnesses that day that there were no screams. There was no whinnying. The barn was silent, meaning that the horses were not scared. They didn't feel anything. They were gone before they really even knew what was happening. And so as an owner, that was the most important thing to me to know. Did my horse suffer? And was he scared? And it was really comforting to know that neither of those were the case. I'm sorry. I do want to say that the agricultural community and the horse community have been phenomenally supportive and phenomenally generous after this tragedy. The amount of love, support, and kindness that has been shown to not only the trainers and the staff at the barn, but also to us owners that lost our beloved equine family members has just been overwhelming. And while none of that is ever going to replace what we lost, I'm so proud to be part of the agricultural community and the equine community and know that there are actually still good people out there. And I think, or at least I hope, that even if you're not a horse person, you can at least think about how devastating it would be. Replace the word horse with dog, cat, child, anything. That's how we feel. That's how us owners feel. Me not having any human children. Henry was my child, and I loved him desperately. All the horses that died that day are buried on site in a common grave, so that also gives me peace, knowing that he's not alone and knowing that there's a space that I can go and I can see him when I want to. There's also the financial burden to consider. A lot of these horses were not insured, and so that means that the money that they were worth, that we maybe could have gotten from them if we had chosen to sell them at some point, is lost. Even some of those that were insured, some companies and some policies, didn't cover mortality. We lost TAC that is quite expensive to replace. For a lot of us that are in this industry, this isn't our full-time job. We have jobs that support this hobby. And sometimes we give it everything we have as far as discretionary income and then some. So to lose what we had and then not be able to afford to replace it, a lot of dreams are potentially lost. A lot of ability to do what we love and to ride is potentially lost if we can't replace it. The horse community has been incredibly generous and supportive in setting up GoFundMes for the trainers and meal trains and, TAC that is being donated to make them whole again and to help with medical bills and things like that. I do want people to remember, though, that, the owners of these horses are the ones that support the livelihoods of these trainers. So even if they have a brand new barn, if they don't have owners that have horses to fill it, they still don't have a business. So it's a big ripple effect, and all of those ripples need to be addressed and supported in order to make these people whole again. So I would love and encourage, if you're watching this, if you do feel called and you are able to, please help with the different assistance that is available out there. I'll put all the links in the video description below. And I know I don't have a large audience, but there's 208 of you out there who are real people who like what I'm doing, and I love you so much for that, and I appreciate you so much for that. If you don't contribute, absolutely fine. Just watching this video and maybe learning something about this tragedy and learning to be kinder to people about things like this when they happen and not judge, that's great. That's all I could ask for. And if you do feel called or able to give something, bless you, honestly, really and truly. It means the world to the trainers, the staff, the horse owners, everybody. I just wanted to come on and share it with you guys. It's healing for me to just talk about it out loud, even if I'm talking to myself. But I hope if you are listening out there, I hope that if you do have horses, hug them a little tighter tonight, say a prayer, be grateful for them, that they're still there with you. Look into fire safety precautions for your barns. It's not going to necessarily guarantee, nobody can guarantee that those are going to help save every animal that you have. Animal grief is a real thing, and losing these animals, they are our family members. They are more than just pets. They are more than just a hobby. And even if they are somebody's livelihood, they still love them desperately, or they wouldn't do it. It's not an industry that you get into because you want life to be easy. You have to love the animal first. And for us owners, these horses mean the world to us. And to lose them so quickly like this, it's just absolutely gut-wrenching. I can't even explain to you, unless you've been through it, there's no way. I wouldn't have known. I would not have been able to empathize with somebody in my position prior to last Saturday. And it is really healing, even if it is unfortunate, to have so many other owners who are going through the same thing, so that we can band together and talk about it, because we are the only ones that know how this feels. So I guess that's it. If you have suffered loss like this, animal loss, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, take the time you need to grieve in the way that you feel is best. And to everybody out there who has lost a pet or an animal that they consider a member of their family, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. No one should ever have to go through this kind of tragedy. Hug your unicorns tight, never take them for granted, and God bless.
And we've been talking about the tragic barn fire that took place on June 8th, 2024, at the Dundee Ranch in Ohio. That fire resulted in deaths of 44 reining horses, including Charlie's horse, Henry, that we just heard from, leaving the entire horse community devastated. Better Horses sends out their support and their prayers to Brandon and Kathy Brandt. This tragedy has left them with no income for their family or employees. So as a equine community, let's all get together and help them in any way we can. For information on Brent and the Priest Family Fundraiser, you can go to Eric Priest Performance Horses at GoFundMe or at Brandt Performance Horses at GoFundMe. So we appreciate you staying with us on this radio broadcast. And if you want to hear this show again, you're more than welcome to hear our encore on our podcast. Just type in Better Horses wherever you get your podcast, and you can listen to all our episodes. And as always, we'd like to encourage you to take a look at our Better Horses newspaper. It's on our website, and we invite you to subscribe any way you can. And also check out our TV show. It's airing on RFD, the Cowboy Channel, and streaming on Equus TV. If you missed any of those episodes, we welcome you to join our YouTube channel and see all there is to see about those trainers and professionals talking about horses. We want to give a special thanks to our radio producer, Brianna Johnson, and our TV producer, Kelly Creech, and naturally, all our sponsors. Well, that about wraps it up for us. We want to tell you all to be good buckaroos and buckarettes out there. Mind your mom and dads, no matter how old they are. Mine's still 88 years old, and he still calls me and gives me good advice. Be brave, but don't take any chances out there. Until next time, I'm Ed Adams. Happy trails, and always ride for the brand.